Hello, welcome to Blog Talk Radio, and you are listening to Truth to Power Talk Show. And my name is Beverly, and tonight we have the master metaphysician and occultist. I call him Dr. Bobby Hemmitt. Bobby Hemmitt, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hello, Detroit.
And the world. We have people in all other states listening
That's
too.
That's right. Forgot this is the World Wide Web age.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have interesting things that's going on today. Today they have
given an accurate account on how many people died in Katrina. And in Katrina. Now, New Orleans, believe it or not, is a central piece because it has a history of both the French and the Americans, Native Americans, Creole, and a little island called Haiti, which slaves being freed from Haiti started trickling into New Orleans. And as a result, brought the sacred voodoo mysteries to as well as now this has a lot to do with this Olympics. To let you know, you say world things, well, everything is connected. So they brought these sacred voodoo mysteries. It's sacred as a ritual background for the occultists. When we talk about that, we talk about these global elite that do rituals all the time. Everything they do is a ritual, and we are the pawns in the game. So made the perfect setting place to do this elaborate death ritual. And so what had happened is this, and the great mystery here is that one of the chief deities of New Orleans that was supplanted in New Orleans and actually flourished in New Orleans greater than any place else was a deity called the Baron Samedi. And Baron Samedi is the god. They just released the 1974 version of the black movie Sugar Hill, where he's dynamite in this movie. So if you can get that movie Sugar Hill, it'll give you a synopsis on what I'm talking about. He also appeared in the 1972 version of Live and Let Die, a James Bond movie, played by Godfrey. I can't think that guy's Joffrey. Can't think of his name right now. Used to do the session. All of those were a part of to actually adopt this authentic voodoo deity and somehow try to usurp the power of Baron Samedi. So in so many words, because they had adopted this African American and African slave god, because Baron Samedi is one of the true deities that's a full-fledged deity, but of the slavery of America and the slavery of Haiti, other than the origins from House. And in so many words, he's a new embodiment of Jesus Christ, which is an old embodiment of Osiris. So all this stuff is connected. So they figured that this particular deity was perfect to somehow try to usurp power. So as a result, and they really didn't give a sacred account of how many of these bodies was, all those particular bodies that died in, you see, not the Baron Samedi sacrifices, but the actual skull and bone sacrifice, ritualistic power in which they do with the energy of the dead. But it didn't work. What it did do, when they sacrificed all that to Baron Samedi, it woke up Baron Samedi. A lot of these deities lie dormant, sleep in these energies, and when they do these elaborate rituals, they woke him up. So he woke during Katrina, and he's been gathering steam and fully manifested last week or the last 2 weeks on the earth plane and in the Western Hemisphere in America. So as a result, the second leg of this year 888. So and at 8 o'clock this time, while the movie is playing in the movies, which is the new Mummy movie, which is talking about the Dragon Emperor, and this particular time they're talking about the Terracotta Warriors. Now, try to follow me on this. The Baron Samedi has the group of ancestral spirits and our ancestral spirits called the Gay, or the Guade, or the Gay. Now, the Gay, these ancestry is our ancestral spirits. They're called the Netters and different things in different societies, whether it be gods or the Lords or what have you. But the Gay is the kingdom of Osiris, or the kingdom of Baron Samedi. And he has a wife called Manat Brigitte. Mama Brigitte, which is equivalent to this particular female side of the kingdom of the dead. Now this is real serious stuff. You see, it's interesting how you can believe in what you want to believe in, but the people who rule over you, they don't deal with stuff that don't work. They deal with the serious stuff, which is our African science. So you're going to have to deal with that for the people that believe in what you want to believe in. This is the real science, otherwise they wouldn't be in it. So you need to find out what is so powerful that these people that rule our lives that don't mess around will deal with some stuff and tell you you need to follow Jesus. You see what I'm saying? So now, the point here is this. To understand this. So the second leg of this is the second part of the ancestral warfare, which would be connected as the first chamber and all rooms of these things. So these were symbols of what used to be his army, the king's army, which united the different warring factions of China. And he had several things that was buried with him and several people that was buried alive with him. But he also had these churches that actually lived. So as a result, the second leg of the powers that be, which is they was thinking it was important to them, was the connection of China. Another thing about the mystery of China is it has been alleged that the Qing dynasty was started, everybody worship all over there, the section that they hid, they turned into Nigerians. So each one of these deities, Shiva, Vishnu, and all these particular deities, Lakshmi and all them that you see, these particular lighter figures or the keener nose figures, in the back of the museum, they had a section of the origin of those ones, and they all look West African. So you're just going to have to deal with that. And we actually have it on video. We documented this on video. And all. He had a big Shiva with a big afro, looked like the Silvers, Ricky Silvers and them boys, Angela Davis and stuff. So now, moving right along, now it is time to try to raise up those spirits. You see, that's a whole debatable thing, and that's a whole other debate, but nevertheless, for some kind of reason, they're trying to somehow thinking that they're tapping into some of their long-lost ancestral spirits. But we all know that the Asians have a whole black people that originally built that stuff. They got a pyramid over there, a black people called the Kawi. You see what I'm saying? That they talk about, that they live over there to this day, and they sequester the ones that they haven't already killed off. You see what I'm saying? And they were pyramid builders, and they got a huge pyramid that they filmed photographed in 1940, in the 1940s. The big here is the whole ritual that is going on as we speak, went on this morning, but they are airing it now in the United States at 8 o'clock, is to rise up the terracotta warriors. Now those terracotta warriors is already in a movie that just came out last week, the third Mummy movie, which goes through the whole dragon emperor, or the emperor of the Qing dynasty and the Great Wall of China, and they're showing the terracotta warriors. You see what I'm saying? They put their own spin on it, but nevertheless, as the movie runs, as well as the movie Hellboy talked about a golden army. Not only that, Baron Samedi image is now resurrected, because Baron Samedi, so now you have the whole Batman thing, one of the biggest movies in world history as far as the attendance. The whole Joker and the Batman franchise was dead, but this man's performance before he died, Heath Ledger as well as a brother named Panic, which my MySpace page is connected to, and read up on this whole Baron Samedi thing.
Okay, so what is it? Your page is MySpace, BOBBYHEMMITT?
.com, yeah, //BOBBYHEMMITT.com. Okay. And also you can but mine is connected with the brother Panic. The last from around the world that they got from the Moors, ancient Egyptians, and the worlds that they conquered, ancient India, ancient China, and so they know. It is their point to know. So if they're doing these elaborate rituals, you best believe this is the real stuff. You see what I'm saying? Compared to something you do every Sunday. You see, which is a pacification. See?
Right.
But nevertheless, they're trying to somehow ritualize and get access to this power. The good news about that here is our strain of DNA and our particular power has risen up. So as a result, whatever they do, they enhance us. So whatever ritual that you see in there on that TV tonight, what happens? In Switzerland, they have this machine called Collider. Now, Collider is a machine that separates subatomic particles and create miniature black holes and detects dark matter. Now, you hear black holes, you hear subatomic particles, or you hear microscopic organism. All that is talking about the mysteries of melanin. Went to court to stop the turning on of this collider machine that makes the black holes. And their excuse was, well, it's going to make it. Well, their worry was it's going to create a black hole. It might create a black hole in our own solar system. So they went to court. An American agency, government agency, the transaction of this collider stopped. And it was in court up until from January 7th. They cut on this machine.
Okay.
On the 7th. Now, this is what the spirit world say, because we're in a whole spiritual warfare. So the spirit world say, well, look, we actually influenced them. Although they think they was doing it for themselves, there's a spirit world to say, do this. And they'll think, well, this is for us, but it's actually for the spirit world. The spirit world said, well, we had to influence them because what it's going to do is that our DNA is all changed. But with this collider thing, what it would actually do, it would wake up the rest of these dead folks out here. That's one thing about it. Another reason why they had to cut it on now, and they had to influence them to cut it on now, because one thing, ultimate damage. They already done put out a movie on it. They put out the movie the end of last year, the first of this year. If you can get it and go to Blockbuster or go someplace and try to rent it, if you can buy it. So a place that sells like, let's see who would sell math videos. A place like Circuit City or Best Buy. But if you can't, go to Blockbuster, or either if they still have Hollywood videos up there or wherever, and rent this movie called The Signal. Now, what is this movie about? This movie is partly what, but the movie here is they send a signal through the radio, the TV, the cable box, and the telephone. In this particular case, they really send it through the cable box because it's going to be digital. And they send this signal through there, and everybody start killing each other like crazy, cutting off people's heads and all of that. And the only person in the building that didn't get affected by the first group of people that didn't get affected by the signal was a white girl who shut herself up in the closet and didn't see the signal. You know, his melanin was at a certain level, so it didn't affect him at first. It only affected him a couple of hours later when producing the signal. So this is the stuff that's going on right now in Philadelphia, Chicago. So to make sure that this whole thing, because it really affects melanin people because we're very sensitive. So to make sure that this whole thing doesn't affect a certain thing, what it does is this collider actually is going to help us because of what it does. It enhances the melanin beyond the point. Now, the consciousness, and we call those dead people. There, if you notice, the people out in the street that's been susceptible to murder and stuff are people that are basically the walking dead. They don't have a form of consciousness because the melanin inside of them is dormant. It's not radiating above the heart chakra. So as a result, they're susceptible to intend nothing. It's just that what it is with them here is they've just been experimenting with dark matter and different things for years, and this is just the last leg of their experiment, or the latest level of their experiment. It's all in a movie called Golden Compass. In the movie Compass, they got one guy that's trying to study what is called the dust. And the dust is melanin. And anything that's out in space is actually going on the inside of us. You see what I'm saying? So there's a warfare that's being on front. It is the diabolical people that's trying to steal you. You see? Right. So in so many words, they sacrifice bodies all the time. So when they tried to do this in New Orleans, we tried to sacrifice something. They didn't get the power. It just woke up there and found it. That meant it's more ancestral power on our side. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so in that particular, and so he's definitely manifested the last 3 weeks. So we have a whole, so now they're doing it with the terracotta warriors trying to get that energy, but guess what? That's tapped into our ancestral souls too. Because the problem here is they don't know the Asian God of the dead. And the Asian God of the dead that they know is an older entity which is no good. It has to be a new entity, and there's only one new entity on the earth that just rolls up, which is the God of the dead, Baron Samedi, which his DNA is ancestrally African indigenous in the New World. You see what I'm saying?
So, do you think that is why they over there in Africa, in the Middle East, which is Africa?
Exactly. What they tried to do